Welcome back to another episode of Misplaced Garage. I'm going to be putting the Triumph on the side for this video. Not going to work on that, surprisingly enough. I'm actually going to be working on these bikes to get them up and running and ready for the season that is coming. Got both bikes running pretty good. I just went through the carburetors and cleaned them out, and that's just not stuff that I've done that before on this channel, so I don't think showing that again will be very beneficial. But this bike in particular has some problems that need to be fixed. Anyways, this bike is a little bit rougher around the edges, and it actually started to develop a rip in the seat. And I don't want that to rip any more than it already has. And that is exactly why I'm going in to also paint this seat, because it is rusting, and hopefully painting it will make it last a little bit longer. There we go, and that is a seat off the bike. A workbench is coming soon. Here we go. Just bend it back, trying to keep the foam in the seat alive so that I can reuse the foam, because the seat itself is not very worn out. Oh yeah, that foam looks pretty dang good in my opinion. So I'm actually going to take all the plastic off of this and remove the rubber off of the seat, the metal seat pan. Boom. That's how that looks. Pretty typical rust on there. Basically, I kind of went through and just scraped the whole thing down of all the easy stuff. Now I'm gonna go through with a wire wheel. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through that, so just see it now, and then hopefully the next frame will be way cleaner. So yeah, that looks way better. I'm sure you guys can tell that was a pretty dramatic difference. I got rid of all the foam off of there and a lot of the crusty, flaky rust. I couldn't do the bottom side very well, but that also looks a little better. These little prongs are hard to wire wheel around. It just kind of rips it out of your hand. So that's that. I'm going to spray a little more penetrating oil in each one of these, let it soak, and while I wait for that, I'm probably going to start sewing the seat together. So I kind of went through and cleaned it all up. The leather is a little more flexible now. It's not quite as hard. I have a feeling it being incredibly hard had a major factor in this ripping. I also found another little hole that I'm going to try and sew up preemptively. My sewing skills are not up to the task, I can tell you that, but I'm going to give it a shot and see where it gets me. You guys have seen me use this stuff in the past, but this is what I'm going to be using to get rid of all the rust. This is it after the navel jelly. I rinsed it off with water and then blew it off with air. Now I'm going to wire wheel it one more time just to get any of this remnant paint off. And then I can sand it a little bit and then prime it and start painting. There's still a little bit of rust coloration on there, but it's not too bad, so I'm just going to paint over it. I'm going to use Rust Reformer, used that stuff in the past, works great. Also cleaned up all these little brackets and stuff just to also give those a nice coat of paint. But yeah, this thing has turned out pretty good, and we will get this painted. So I sewed it twice on the inside, forwards and backwards. And now I think I'm going to sew it from underneath this seam right here on the top of it, so that the thread is hidden, but it's still joining it together. I think that's the best way to go about it, to join it at the top. But other than that, it's looking way better than it was. Hopefully it's strong enough, because this thread is much thinner than the OEM stuff that they used on the seat, but I guess if you can't tie a knot, tie a lot. If you can't sew a lot. I don't know, same thing, whatever. We'll find out. Let's finish up that seat pan. Let's put this thing back together how I took it apart. And that starts with putting this little bead around the crusty, or around the, not the crusty, around the edge of the metal so that it doesn't tear into the leather. I was saying crusty because this little bead is crusty. So I got all those little metal tabs bent down with the leather and the plastic inside of it, and if you couldn't tell, I left a lot of excess plastic. So now I'm going to cut that down with an X-Acto knife. We'll see if this one is sharper than that other knife that I was using. How's about that for a restored seat pan and leather? It is no longer ripped. I mean, you can see where it has been ripped just because I obviously am not the OEM sewer, but it is all together again. And then that's the other spot that it ripped. I did a kind of little band-aid fix there. Hopefully it'll make it last a little bit longer. Guys, let's finish this project up finally. And boom, that thing is on there, and it is ready to rock. Much better than it was. Well, that'll do it for this video. If you like this sort of idea, please comment down below, and I'll try to do more motorcycle stuff or just restoring stuff in general. But if you like that, consider commenting and letting me know down below. Next project is making motor mounts for the Triumph, so if you guys like that kind of video, please follow along with that one. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.